I hate Sony games. I want everyone in Insomniac decapitated. Every single one of them. I want everyone in Insomniac decapitated. Every single one of them. Oh, the game just crashed. Well, at least it didn't crash my PS5 this time.
Consequences.
I'm talking about, yeah, the fucking losers. That it's so fucking funny to see where they're just like, I found this glitch in Spider-Man 2. I found this bug. Look at this bug. It's so shitty. Like, yeah, man, you're okay. You need to get a fucking life, bro. Like, seriously, man.
This is getting silly. This is the third time in hashtag Spider-Man 2 where I had to restart a level because of a bug that broke the mission at Insomnia Games. Please fix this.
Like, you're telling me you bought this game to just sit there for hours and find as many things as you can that, how can I break the game? What bug can I find?
I owed you one. Both of you. Even if the other Spider-Man couldn't be bothered to make an appearance.
Yeah,
You can save the explanation.
Oh, that's not so much. So?
It's like, oh, but they did it to Starfield too, man. They did it to so like, I don't fucking care. I didn't do it to Starfield, and I'm only speaking for my fucking self. Okay?
Hey, I'm an innocent bystander. They saying I drove a getaway car, but I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
Just when you thought PlayStation guys were enamored with the plastic box, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because the Spider-Man crowd, oh boy, do they love their Spider-Man. They really like their young man in tights swinging around the city. They love nothing more than to see the same superhero they've been seeing for the past 30 years of their life. I mean, we could go 20 years without a new Spider-Man or a new Batman film, and I would be completely satisfied with that. But the rest of the world would plunge into complete chaos.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
This poor IP hasn't seen enough rest, which is why things just keep getting recycled and repetitive. There's only so much Spider-Man you can pump out within a limited time frame that not even Insomniac can seem to handle it anymore. After years of carrying Sony hard on their back for this generation, looks like their legs finally gave in, and all that weight Sony put on Insomniac's back is starting to show. Now, while this is definitely not even close to the buggiest game of the year, which I saw some people on social media proclaim, we can say, however, that it is most certainly Insomniac's buggiest game and most unpolished game to date. And you see, more people would have known this had the media actually done their goddamn jobs like they did with Starfield.
Separate incidents.
And just about every other game that came out this year. Yet for some reason, when it involves Spider-Man, the media suddenly turns about as blind as Mighty Keith and cannot see the bugs. And they really want you to sit there and pretend like it's such a minor thing that very few people are experiencing, and yet all of the streamers I watched playing this game all experienced hard crashes and bugs. Not a single one of them I saw did not run into a single bug on stream. All of them did. The only ones you see not referencing bugs are reviewers like Dreamcast Guy, who gave this thing a 10 out of 10 with Mary Jane missions in the game.
Why? Because I'm a strong, independent female character?
It's because you look like Rocky Dennis.
Honest to God, had this been any other superhero, I think we would have seen a far different score. Let's be real, people love their Spider-Man. So much so, I've seen two close friends in my Discord have a falling out and no longer be friends over this goddamn video game. Had these two friends argued over Starfield, they would have both woken up in the same bed together the next day just fine. But because it's Spider-Man, one of them has to sleep on the couch. Look, I'm not going to pretend like I don't understand why people like Spider-Man, but I'm also not going to pretend like every single stream I watched playing it wasn't disrupted by a ton of glitches and bugs and crashes. Oh, but don't take my word for it. You know what? I'm gonna, for once in my life, allow the amazing doofus to explain it to you. Go ahead, take it away, Lucas.
One thing that I think is honestly, it's telling of the gaming industry. It's telling of the reviewers out there. And that is, I've looked at countless reviews of this game, and not once, not a single damn time did I hear a reviewer tell me this game has bugs. Not once. Everyone was saying this is the greatest Spider-Man game ever. Oh, it's perfect, it's flawless, it's amazing, yada, yada, yada. I didn't hear not one reviewer tell me this game has bugs. And I think that is disgusting. I think that's evil. I think that's wicked. Because you're hyping people up for an experience that's not the real experience. This game is buggy hell, okay? And I'm not talking about like, because if you've ever done playtesting, you understand there's tiers to the bugs. There are game-breaking bugs which need to be addressed immediately, and there's less, there's less serious or critical bugs where it's like, we can still ship with that, right? We can ship with a bug like that. It's not game-breaking. There are game-breaking bugs in this game, okay? I defy you to play the game without experiencing any bugs. This is beyond unacceptable. I know I've used that word countless times, but it needs to be said. This is a no-no. This is disgusting. This is the first time I've experienced this amount of bugs, such copious bugs in an Insomniac game. I didn't have this in any of the Ratchet and Clank games. I didn't have this in Miles Morales, and I sure as hell didn't have this in Spider-Man 1. I don't know what the hell was going on. Maybe they were rushing this game, which would make sense given the story. But this is unfreaking acceptable. A whole bunch of bugs where I'm turning into a cube. The game is crashing. There was one point where I got a superpower and it was telling me to hit the button for the superpower. I hit it and nothing happened. The game froze. I had to restart it. There was so many bugs like that. It was like the game glitching, where it's during cutscenes and the game it glitches and I don't get to see the animation. It's like, what the hell? Whole bunch of bugs that are ugly and game breaking. Unfreaking acceptable from a first party exclusive AAA game. There's no excuses, bro. No excuses. And for anyone who says, well, it's not that big of a deal, oh, you just have to do this, you need to take le coq out of your mouth. Because no, this is not excusable.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. When even the most diehard of PlayStation fanboys are coming out to tell you this game is buggy, and not a single reviewer out there did the service of telling consumers about it, is blowing my mind. Lucas may care about Spider-Man and PlayStation a lot, but yet he still has enough integrity to tell you the truth. What does that say about all these reviewers on Metacritic? With how frequent seeing bugs became on streams I was tuning into, I knew without a shadow of a doubt there was bias here, because it's Spider-Man. Had it been any other game, literally any other game, even The Last of Us, the bugs would have knocked it down a score. But because it's Spider-Man, we can overlook this, which makes no goddamn sense because a game completely reusing all assets shouldn't be buggy, right? You're using the exact same map. Hell, some of the NPC behaviors and patterns are exactly the same. And you completely skipped last gen consoles. So again, how did this game come out so buggy? Well, something tells me that was all thanks to Sony not having anything ready for you for the holiday season. So they said, please ship this game out as soon as possible, Insomniac. And as we all know, Insomniac is not the type of studio to tolerate any sort of bugs, glitches, or crashes like this. So you know it is 100% on Sony. Whether you like Starfield or not, they needed something to match, hell, even outdo the success of that game the following month. And they would do it no matter how rushed it was. Because you know how Sony is, they can always rely on those reviewers to come through. I mean, my god, I saw this game crash for people more than Starfield ever crashed for me. And the only time Starfield crashed for me was when I installed mods. And yet, in spite of all the glaring bugs that cannot be denied, the go-to defense for this game is, well, it's a 91 on Metacritic. Suck it.
I did lots of testing on Spider-Man 2. Many bugs are forced by not following a scripted path. If you go different ways / force through scripted on-rail moments like tutorials, etc., you will glitch the physics in game. Like below, NPC bug can happen, but it is rare. Most people have no issues.
Oh yeah, guys, just Just play this open world game like it's not an open world game, and you should be fine. Player curiosity be damned. Don't go down an off-beaten path thinking you can collect some sort of item. Stick to the on-rail segments the game forces you to. What's that? You want to jump on top of a lamppost, test out the physics of the game? Oh, you glitched? Well, that's your fault. You're not supposed to jump on top of traffic signals. What are you doing? You can't do that. Stop experimenting with the game's physics, and it won't break. Simple as that. I'm sorry, but the amount of footage I've seen of people playing the game as it's intended and still encountering mission-breaking bugs is actually more than I've seen in Starfield, surprisingly. The game is just so blatantly undercooked, and I understand why people are in denial because no one expected that out of Insomniac, but this is what is going on. When jumping on top of a lamppost breaks your game, that's not the player's fault. Nobody actively looked for that to happen. You're a goddamn Spider-Man. You should be able to latch onto anything. Why you can't stand on top of a lamppost makes no goddamn sense. But again, no other game on this planet would get this treatment where gamers are blamed for the game being broken. When the bugs are not hard to find, you've lost the narrative, my friend. Sorry, D-Badge, but you are clearly calling out the wrong people on this one. That's like blaming gamers that they think Mary Jane looks like Rocky Dennis. It's clearly not a vision problem from gamers, it's a developer problem.
In case you are unaware, whenever console loyalists or haters of a game do this type of cherry picking, the rest of the world is laughing at them, lol. Like, there will never be a narrative that Spider-Man 2 was a buggy mess outside of the specific Twitter bubble you are in.
Oh, come on, Keith. Really? Really? Are you really just gonna lie to everyone that hard? No. When bugs for Starfield, when bugs for Forspoken, when bugs for The Last of Us PC port were all pointed out, the world was not laughing at those who found them. The world was laughing at the product. Are we really gonna sit here and pretend like people didn't love to see Starfield bugs? Who doesn't love them? Some Bethesda bugs. I do. I love seeing these compilations, and so do a lot of people. Why do you think my Spider-Man 2 bugs compilation video is doing #1 on the channel right now? People weren't laughing at me for finding the bugs, they're laughing at the game. And you say there will never be a narrative that Spider-Man 2 was buggy. It's not a narrative, it's reality. How someone like the amazing Lucas is able to call it out for what it is and not you speaks volumes. This is some shameless ass coping from Keith. Oh my god. I mean, come on. You can still like the game, obviously. If you still find it to be an absolutely enjoyable experience, go ahead, but to outright deny it's a buggy mess? Come on. When they couldn't even get the Puerto Rican flag right, you have no defense. The game was clearly rushed and undercooked. Does that take away from the overall experience? Well, according to reviewers on Metacritic, it should, but I guess for this one game, it's not. Look, I understand why Insomniac gets a pass, because this isn't something that happens with them frequently enough to be a consistent issue. But to not include it in any of the reviews is just outright a disservice to consumers. You know it's bad when Game Ranks, yeah, that's right, you heard that, correct? Game Ranks, of all publications, is like one of the only people talking about it. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is the buggiest 2023 game with Metacritic's universal acclaim. Wow, I didn't think they had the balls to do it. Usually journalists have a big problem calling out other outlets. I don't know why, but something tells me they got into Dreamcast Guy's bag of meth and woke up feeling a little violent today. Oh my god, having to give Synthetic Man, the amazing Lucas, and Game Ranks all W's in one video? Do you understand how much torture this is for me? At the very least, I deserve 100 subscribers, so hit subscribe, because my god, please, I'm suffering having to do this.
I've been really enjoying Spider-Man. Spider-Man has really brought out like some brain rot behavior on Twitter. I'm sure all of you have seen this, but it's all the people whining about Spider-Man 2, like in a couple of glitches that they set up. And you go to the profile and their entire life is just living and breathing being an Xbox fan. So like the insecurity runs so deep in their veins that they have to constantly, perpetually like get into this brainwashing simulator on Twitter to convince themselves that Xbox is perfect and amazing and everything else is bad.
No, Moist! No, dude, don't do it, man. Why, dude? Oh, God, no, Critical, why you too? Not you, Critical! You found it hilarious when they did this to Starfield! But when it happens to Spider-Man, it's a conspiracy! When the Starfield bugs were coming out, Critical wasn't looking at the account saying, is this a PlayStation dedicated account, dude? I don't know what to tell you, Moist, but if you really liked it when it happened to Starfield, I don't see the problem with liking it when it happens to Spider-Man. Again, it's all fun and games until you talk about Spider-Man. Why?
This one has been all over the place because this guy is very upset about this glitch. Even though this bike is only available in one mission, apparently, you don't get it anywhere else. It's not supposed to be there, and of course it's going to lead to a buggy situation because you put it in a situation it's not supposed to be.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
No! The Moist I once knew would never defend bugs. It would never excuse it. No, what are you doing, Charlie? Why? Why is this the one clip we're looking at when there's literally hundreds of them? Plenty of streams for you to go watch and see in real time how it happens. But again, because it's Spider-Man, we gotta look for an excuse. Well, clearly the person tried breaking the game. They didn't play the game right. They didn't play the game as it was intended. Oh my God, of all the people to have this defense, I didn't think Moist would be using it.
And it's a very cool glitch. This is a banger. And it's a very cool glitch. This is a banger.
It's a cool glitch. It's a banger. Happens in Starfield, it's a problem.
And Xbox fans ate this up. They're like, yep, overhyped. This just goes to show industry corruption. Everyone saying Spider-Man 2 is better than Starfield is clearly just corrupt and brainwashed. It's wild.
It's okay, Moist. Tell us how you really feel. You know the bugs are prevalent. You know they're very real. The majority of bugs I have seen were from PlayStation streamers. There is no excuse. And seeing you peddle this is honestly quite disappointing. Very unmoist of you. The denial all over the internet from big accounts is blowing my mind. I get it, you guys like your Spider-Man, you really do. You've been attached to Spider-Man since you were born. But any other game doing this would come under fire from each and every single one of you. Don't excuse it. Stop damage controlling for it. Does it make the game bad? I don't know. I haven't picked it up and tried. But I watched the whole thing and, you know, this is kind of a cringe story, not gonna lie. But it doesn't fundamentally take away from everything else the game gets right. But again, it's funny when it's other games like Starfield, but when you do it to Spider-Man, you're a console warrior. You're trying hard. Very, very disappointing and shameful damage control from the Moist Man himself. L. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think this is a console war thing. People may love their PlayStation, but trust me, people love Spider-Man more. What I think we're witnessing here is Spider-Man fanaticism at its finest. I can't even give you the best criticism I have to offer because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. Unless it's Gundam. I spoiled it for Gundam. And now he's lost complete motivation to beat the game. Great. I don't want to do that to anyone else. So, play it for yourselves. Decide what the quality is, but let's not deny it, the game was rushed. And even though you don't like doing it when it involves a PlayStation studio, we're gonna do it because it's only fair, right? Anyways, not as fair as liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you so choose to. With that being said, I'll see you in the next mid-ass video.